I'm just too lavish. I'm just too lavish. I'm just too lavish. I'm just too lavish. Yeah, I'm just too lavish. I'm just too lavish. I'm just too lavish. I'm just too lavish. Yeah. Then I hit her with the slammer. Shawty say she like my country grammar. Yeah. Then I pour the lean into the fountain.
Okay, cool. All right, well, either way, man, so you just got your real estate license, and now you're with Keller Williams. So first, I really want to know, why are you here outside of being at Keller Williams?
Well, for one, I want to be able to work with a broker who can provide a little more intimate setting when it comes to real estate. Someone who I can go to and say, hey, Justin, I got a question, what's going on with this? Even though something that Keller Williams does offer, but they also have thousands of other agents that they have to work with. So working with someone who looks like me, talks like me, while also in the same industry as me, I feel like it'll be a little bit better for me to learn from them on a more intimate scale than a large scale.
Right, got you. But now, man, what got you in the business? Like, what made you want to get your license?
Man, I've always been interested in real estate, never really knew how to do it. First got into it my senior year of college, but working full-time job overnight, going to college full-time in the daytime, the focus really wasn't there. So started doing a little more research, watching reality TV shows, of course, but I was interested before TV shows came out.
Yeah.
But, just kind of started watching a little bit more, started doing my own research, signed up with Barney Fletcher, started studying the material.
Yeah.
And then once I really found that balance and that time, I said, you know what, now's my time to, go out there and get it. A couple of tests later, but, even though it took a couple of times.
Yeah, that's a blessing you passed, man. Congratulations,
right,
bro.
Yeah, that pass score is nothing to me. So I got my license, so now I'm finally getting to pursue what I wanted to do.
But no, I'm just curious, man, because for myself, I guess people come to me and they want to learn how to invest in real estate and stuff, and then a lot of these people that come to me, they are saying, oh yeah, I learned how to do this from this class or this class. And one thing I realized, you have so many people out there that have these education systems, and they can give you information, but not necessarily still be able to take you to the finish line, because people still need their hand to be held to actually do a deal. Right. So for here, and I'll get into it, but the reason why I asked, how come you're, more so talking to me versus Keller Williams, not to antagonize, but it's just that, like, this firm, Real Estate Gurus, is not like a brokerage firm per se, even though we are agents and brokers that are licensed, but at the same time, I don't necessarily put our business into the same category as like a KW or a Coldwell Banker or a Remax or a Century 21, because we do so much more than the things that they actually do. So I'll kind of get into that as well, but I guess, I don't know if you want me to tell you a little bit about my background, or if you want me to tell you about your background first. Okay, cool, yeah. So basically for me, I've been in the business for 11 years, and what I was initially going to be doing is, when I came out of college, me and my brother were like, well, hey, let's start up a business, let's be entrepreneurs. And at the time, we thought the real estate was good because I'm 32. So at the time, it was around 2005 when I came out of school. I was supposed to be 06, but I came out a little early just because college was expensive. So I was like, bump it. But being an econ major, I came out and I worked in corporate America for about 4 months. And it was funny, even though having a very nice degree from a good school, I ended up taking this job. It was paying about $44,000 a year, while my other college, colleagues were getting paid about 100, 80 or whatever, doing investment banking and consulting and all this type of stuff. And I wanted to come back to Atlanta because that's where I was from. So I ended up working in this company called Cintas. And what I was doing is I was a management trainee there. So they had me working in servicing, sales, and in the office. But basically starting out, they gave me a milk truck. They put me in this white suit, and I was stuffing Band-Aids and boxes and filling up soap dispensers with an Ivy League degree. You know what I'm saying? But they had me doing that so I could learn how to manage the people that I was supposed to be managing once I did my time in those particular businesses. But the thing is, I only took the job just so I can get some money to start investing in real estate. So what I did is, my brother was also working in corporate. So we took our money that we had, we bought a condo, and we bought the condo, rehabbed it, sold it, made about $25,000. And keep in mind, I was 21 at the time, right? So after we made that $25,000, we quit. We quit our jobs. I was 4 months in and just quit. So we thought we were balling, we thought we were doing it. So we ended up buying another property. by the airport. Bought that. And at the time, we paid about like 90 grand for it. We put in about 10 grand worth of work for it. We're trying to think we could sell for 150. Had it under contract a bunch of times. Didn't sell, right? So we're like, okay, well, new construction's hot. Let's get into new construction. So then we ended up buying a piece of land in the Camp Creek area. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that area too well, but bought a piece of land out there, found some nice floor plans for a house, hired a builder, built a house. So it wasn't even like, you know how you go to a subdivision, they have a new construction subdivision? Nah, we built a spec home, that's what it's called. So we built a spec home. It was supposed to be worth 400 grand. The market started crashing. So now it's not worth 400, now it's worth 350. Now for 350, it's worth 300. Next thing you know, we just like, long story short, that house foreclosed on. The other house that I paid 90 for that was around the airport, that house I had to do a short sale on. I didn't make money for about a year and a half. So I was trying to figure out, okay, well, what do I do to actually make money? Because it's either go back to corporate or make it happen. So my mom's always been a real estate broker before I was even born, but she never practiced. It was more just to have her license so she can then get whatever deals that she would sell, just keep the commission, right? Because the thing is that, you know, one thing you'll hear, like one of the biggest lies you'll hear is that, oh, as an investor, you don't need your license. Like, nah, that's going to handicap you. Typically when people say that, they're probably doing stuff that's kind of shady or is not necessarily on the up and up, and that would result into you losing your license. And also, too, people will be practicing real estate without a license is also, you know, illegal. So when people say you don't need your license, it doesn't necessarily make sense because if you think about it, me being an investor and also having a license, each property that I acquire, I get paid a commission off of. So it's like, even though I'm buying a house for 100 grand, I get $3,000 at least back in my pocket because I get the 3% commission. So now I'm not paying 100, I'm really paying 97 for it. If I buy a house for $1 million, I'm getting 30 grand back. How does that hurt you?
Right.
Like it doesn't. You see what I'm saying? If anything, that just helps you more, right? So that being said, if you have heard that, just know that those people don't know what they're talking about. Or they might have some sort of criminal record where they can't even get the real estate license anyway, right? Because you're held to a higher standard. But not to digress from what I was saying, is so I got my real estate license because I was thinking to myself, all these people I was trying to sell my houses to, they didn't necessarily like my house, but they were really ready, willing, and able buyers. Get my license, I could just sell them something else. Right. So then what I was doing is I was taking those people and then selling them something else and getting paid commission off of it. And then I was networking with people like us. I was going to young professional events. I was going to different like groups to where, like I was telling you, if you have to be one, there's only one agent here, only one insurance person, only one banking person. So we all network together to then pass leads to each other. But essentially, I just built a very good funnel of business off of being a realtor, from networking, talking to people, cold calling, like, because it was either sink or swim. Because at this point, you know, I had to make it happen. I couldn't go back to corporate America. So the thing is, as far as with real estate gurus is concerned, not only do we show our agents how to be good agents based off of learning from a person like myself, that's just, you know, I had my back against the wall. So you had to either figure it out. And figuring it out, you learn, if you look up there, a lot of different ways to find deals and all this type of stuff, and how to go about getting listings, to go about getting people that want you to represent them as a buyer's agent. So one thing I learned too with bringing on so many different agents is they come from these bigger companies that they feel a little inadequate, because the thing is about real estate, it's very cut and dry. You know, it's either you have a person who wants to buy a property, you have a person who wants to sell a property. You don't need a website. You don't need an app. You don't need to have a big presentation. The only thing you really need is just yourself. And as long as you come in, you know, like you're a sharp guy, good looking dude, you know, you got your stuff together. So if you come in there and say, hey, listen, you know, I can get this done, period, then you can sell them. Like, because when I was doing this on my own, I didn't have all that advanced stuff or whatnot, because it wasn't even necessary. All we do was just show up and present to them like, hey, these are comparables in the neighborhood. You know, if you're doing commercial, it'd be like, hey, I got access to all these different things. I can show you how this, and this sell, and I think we can sell it for this. You're good. So what's funny is that you have all these other companies that make you think that you need this system or this system, but really it's more so just a smoke screen, because you don't need all that. And nobody really cares what company you work for. They don't care what type of system, what type of website you have in place. Typically, when people looking to buy a property, they're not going to be going to your website. They're like, okay, where's the deals? Can you find me a deal?
Right.
And that's when you go on the MLS systems to find them a deal. Then ship them the deal over. Then you go out in the field and show them to you. So anyway, that being said, here we teach people cut and dry ways to make money because it's really just that simple. But there's certain ways to go about implementing these processes so then it can work for yourself, right? So that's one aspect of just the agency side. But at the same time, when I was younger and I was trying to figure things out as far as trying to be a good agent, I learned how to be a better investor off of failing so much. Because the thing is that my credit cards were maxed out, having that foreclosure, that short sale, like my credit was shot. So I had to figure out like, okay, how do I build myself back up? A lot of people have been in that situation. Right. So I built myself back up by saving my money, selling all these different deals. But then I was like, I know how to invest now. I know what not to do. So then I became a way better investor. And that's when I started taking my commission and investing again. Because when the market crashed, I was picking up properties for like $8,000, $10,000. Yeah. That's crazy cheap.
Oh yeah.
And then I figured out a formula, which you'll probably see up there. But there's a certain equation to where if you're selling a property, investors, regardless of whatever the property looks like, will purchase it at that price as long as they get a certain rate of return. So I was capitalizing off of that. So when I started investing again, I took like $10,000. I bought a house for 10. I sold it for 40. I made my 30. And after that, I'm gonna go ahead and keep it moving. So then I started just doing that, turning that. And what's funny, and not to be so long-winded, but I'm just telling you like the background so you kind of understand. Because I know you have a lot of questions. But basically, it's the importance of being well-rounded. Because we can go to most brokerage firms, they'll say, hey, go sell, go list. But here, it's not just that. We want to show you how to also be investors. So that's why we got all those agents in there that are coming on from KW and all these other firms, because they don't learn how to also be an investor to then take themselves to the next level. Because how we talked about, you said, well, what's your vision? Like, where do you want to be? Do you want to be on, different whatever? And I'm saying to myself, really, my vision is to own enough real estate to where I get enough passive income to where I don't have to worry about working. So then my goal is for all my agents, I can show you how to go about investing to where you can build enough passive income for yourself to where regardless of if someone wants you to list their property or help them buy a property, you have enough passive income on your investing side to where your bills are covered, period. So that's every goal I have. So for every agent that we bring on, we want to show them how to be a savvy investor, but also to be a phenomenal real estate agent. So you can have the best of both worlds. And that's really what Real Estate Gurus is about.
Okay. All right, so my background, I graduated from North State University, went and worked for one of the largest transportation companies for 6 years.
Which company was it? Gotcha.
Yeah, so I worked for them for 6 years. Really, I was in a good situation, networked with quite a few good people, and I'm pretty sure if I would have stayed with the company, it was no doubt I would have been successful. But the amount of time that was required of that job, I said, you know what, I can go out and make my own money with this time and not be capped at you're gonna make your dollar amount this year, and then I'm gonna work you for 15, 16 hours a day, and you're just gonna take it. I wasn't with it. So over those 6 years, I was studying real estate, but focus-wise, couldn't really get it because I was focused so much on meeting their demands, make sure I got my results from them. So now it's time for me to take it to the next level. I want to control my time. I want to have the freedom to do what I want to do. Travel, shop. As you see, I'm fashion guy.
You got it.
I like to dress. I got a nice car. I want to dress it up. I want to, really live the lifestyle to where I'm in control of my time, my freedom. And then I also want to be able to educate other people on how they can get into the real estate, how they can do the investing, how to invest their money, how they can, sell to other people. And it's really just show people it's more than just being a rapper or, being an entertainment industry.
Amen, bro. And it's funny, when I quit my job, I told myself, and I didn't even share this, but just like you said, no one can pay you what you can pay yourself, period. So when I was getting paid that $44K a year, I told myself, okay, well, when I go get my license, I know I can pay myself more than what these folks are paying me. So what I did is I got my license in June. From June to December, just straight selling. I made $54,000. Now the thing is that I was ecstatic because I proved to myself that I could pay myself more than what this company was going to pay me. And then the next year from January to December, I didn't double my money, but instead of making 54 grand, I made 56. But I was still thankful and happy, and I was thanking God, like, I consistently paid myself more than what they were paying me.
Right.
And then when I coupled the investing side into me into the agency, that's when I made my first 6 figures. I made like 104. So it was low 6 figures, but
It was still 6
I did it myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So then, yeah, like you said, man, like, yeah, you can pay yourself more than what anybody else can pay you. And what's funny, I talk about this all the time. Every time most people see a brother drive a nice car, you already know what they think.
Yeah.
You in 3 different businesses.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, yeah, man, we got to break that stereotype. But I think what it is, and it's really one of my passions, is there's just not enough examples out there in the media to where they don't portray us. Because there's a bunch of us out there, but they just don't portray us out there. They only show the athletes, the entertainers,
Right.
you know, the people that are doing the stuff, the shady stuff. But we just got to set more examples out there. So you're right, bro. Oh, yeah, I'm with you, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, that's the goal. I've worked in the entertainment industry before. I did internships for a record label. I've seen the type of money that comes inside of the type of guys that ain't got there, and I say, y'all not doing nothing. You know, this is just what everybody sees y'all as. But the owner of the record label, I knew he was more of the business, so I knew that he could, you know, kind of teach me a few different things. You know, aside from just being a rapper or something like that, you know, he was more business. He really did teach me a lot. He taught me, you got to eat what you kill.
Yeah.
Eat what you kill. If you want it, go get it. And that was something that I took from him. So every day I think to myself, if I want to, you know, live this lifestyle, this is what I got to do. So that's just the action I'm going forward right now.
And the thing is, you know, when you deal with these other brokerage firms, they don't necessarily help you as far as building yourself and building your business. So the thing about here, and we ask any of our agents here, is that they get leads and they get business. And the thing is that I've been in business for 11 years, so I get so many people that contact me, hey, Justin, can you list my property? Hey, can I buy this house? And we just give all that stuff to the agents so that we make sure that our agents are doing well and make sure they eat outside, they, you know, eat what they kill, whatever the case may be. But we still have so much business that we want our agents to be successful, so we follow that business to them. That's why we do the seminars. That's why we do a lot of marketing, because all that stuff is going to the agents so they can be successful. Because if the agents are successful, then they're happy, and then they can promote the business, because then they'll say, you know, these people are real estate gurus, other agents are happy. Versus you have a lot of companies that just go off of their name, they just have a big name, that's it, and people don't associate that. No one cares about what firm you work for, they just care if you get the job done.
Right.
So then our agents are not only happy, but they're making money, and then they're accommodating all these people out there that need a good service. So it just makes our company look better, on top of our agents and then learning all the real estate and investing purposes, because we consult people anyway. So if they're going to be helping people buy a property or sell a property, they need to understand the consulting aspect of it as far as investing, so that they can then be able to have that conversation with these people that want us to consult them. You know, like here, man, you know, cameras aside, like really, we're all about helping our agents grow and build. Like, I don't want to, you know, have a bunch of people that don't necessarily know how to take care of themselves as far as taking themselves to the next level off of investing, because that's really where the money's at. Like, it's great money too off of more so being an agent and doing the $1 million listings and the commercial stuff. And even, you know, like I said, I did well off of selling houses that are under 150. If you selling 2 or 3 of those a month, you're gonna make 100 grand easy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you good. So a lot of people don't even focus on that. But the thing is just, I just want you to understand that here, like I said, we're not like the other people because we're more rounded. Like, we want you to understand every aspect of it. And what I didn't touch on is that we have our own in-house hedge fund.
Okay.
So are you familiar with that at all?
No.
So basically, a hedge fund is just a private company that takes investor capital to invest in a particular product to make a profit.
Okay.
That's it. Like, did you pick that up?
Now say that one more time.
So basically, a hedge fund is a private company that takes private capital from, let's say, whomever, right? Then we take all that capital to then go invest in some sort of product or good to then hopefully make a return off of that product, to then share the profits with the investors that are in the fund.
Basically, kind of like a private lender, or private lender, instead of like a hard money lender, you're just gonna go to somebody for private money.
Well, kind of, sort of. So, for example, basically, a hedge fund is just a company to where, let's say that we go out and raise $1 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all those people that we're raising $1 million from will say, hey, we're going to go invest in corn, right? So this hedge fund is just investing in corn. We're going to go out to these different fields. We're going to buy a bunch of corn crop, and we're hopefully going to sell these at a profit so that we can turn this 1 million to 1.5. And then we're going to share this 0.5 million, 500,000 with the investors.
Okay.
That's all a hedge fund is.
Okay.
So then when you go watch CNBC, hedge fund manager, this is investing in Apple and Google, all this type of stuff. Those hedge funds are investing in stocks.
Okay.
That's what they put the pension funds of all these firefighters and teachers and stuff. They're taking all those billions and putting them in the stocks because that's what those hedge funds particularly invest in.
Okay.
You have some hedge funds that only invest in bonds to where, you know, they just put in, get that fixed rate and that's it. You got some hedge funds invest in hotels. So you can invest in anything.
Okay.
But our particular fund invests in real estate.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does.
So yeah, so all we do is like, let's say we go raise, you know, 100 grand. We're gonna take that 100 grand to go put in a couple of properties to then make a profit off of and then share that profit with our investors that are in the fund. But the reason why I bring that up is because another thing about real estate gurus, you see, we're always buying property. That's the hedge fund side.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? That's in-house. So then the agents that are working with real estate gurus are helping the company, the real estate investment company. Let's just call it a real estate investment company. It makes it easier because people don't understand the hedge fund terminology. But we have our own in-house real estate investing company. So then the agents are then funneling deals to our real estate investment company. Then the agents are getting paid off of funneling those deals to the company because they're selling the properties to the company.
Okay.
So they get paid commission.
Okay.
And then once the company rehabs it, that same agent that sold us the property in-house will also list it and sell it. You see what I'm saying? But what's cool, because we teach our agents also how to be investors, you're going to look at a bunch of deals and say, man, I want to get on this deal. Let's say you don't have the money to get on the deal, but you got some money to put up. Cool. So let's say you find a deal for 50 grand, right? You got 10 to put into it. So you put in your 10, our in-house real estate investment company will put in the 40. So then now you put in 10, so 10 divided by 5, if I do my math correctly, 10,000 divided by 50,000. So you'll get 20%. So that's 20% of like what you're invested in. So let's say that we bought that property for 50 and sold it for 70. So we made a $20,000 profit, right? So then you'll get 20% of the $20,000 profit, which is 4,000 on top of your 10. So now we're giving you back 14 grand. 4,000 divided by 10,000, you made 40% return on your $10,000 off of one deal. But all this is only for our agents in-house. You see what I'm saying? We don't offer that to anybody because we keep that in-house.
Right.
So now you just made an extra 4K on top of your 10 grand on top of whatever deals you got going on with the different people that you're selling property to or listing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now we can help you make more money because you invest in and you selling property. And the thing is that, look, we do a lot of hard money lenders anyway, so if you got 10 grand, you can really do it on your own. I'll just give you the contact. You don't need us, but let's say you just want us to help you out with it, then fine. You know, for hell freezes over, you need extra 40K, we'll put up the 40K with you, and then we'll just do the deal together. But no one offers that. That's why we're not different than any other. We're not like any other firm because they don't do that. All they do is say, give me your fees, pay your fees, sell some houses, have a good day. See, we don't do that. Because that's just not how we operate. Like we're a one-stop shop. We do it all.
Okay. So how many agents do you have to work for you right now?
25.
25. And what's the age gap of those guys?
I mean, you know, we don't discriminate. You know, I mean, we got agents that are 45. You know, our youngest agents in their 20s. So I mean, we deal with everybody.
Okay. And what's been the greatest feedback that you've gotten from your students, or I'm saying your agents?
The agents?
Yeah.
Well, they all make money. Everybody's happy that they're getting leads. Everybody's getting business. Everybody's making money. And then they learn a lot. That's the thing. Like, everybody's happy to be learning how to be better agents and how to be investors. So everybody's just happy. Like, you can't really go and meet any of my agents and be like, you know, hey, how do you like the company? I think that most of them all have positive stuff to say. And the thing is, what's crazy is that we're growing rapidly.
Yeah.
So, because nobody out there is really putting in energy to these people to help them take themselves to the next level. Like, it's just, no one's doing that out there. So the goal is for us to build up our community so that we can empower these people with knowledge to take themselves to whatever it is they want to do. Because the thing is this, at the end of the day, my goal is to more so not only be very good at real estate investing, but to also then invest in other businesses, right? Some agents want to have their own business doing something. So for here, if I can take a person to acquire enough liquid cash for them to go start up whatever they think they want, then that's cool. Because things is not they're gonna leave my company because I helped them build themselves, and they're still gonna want to keep their license somewhere while they're owning their own business or computer company, or they go write a book or open up a hotel or whatever. Like, we want them to achieve whatever it is they want to achieve, and that's the goal. We just want to make them enough money for them to go do whatever it is their goals are.
So for the new agents coming in with no experience, how do you train them to be successful?
Yeah, that's simple. So basically the thing is that we focus on whatever it is they want to do. So for example, like, what do you want to focus on for yourself? I'm going to use an example.
At one point in time, I wanted to flip, but now I think I'm more interested in actually just listing homes.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll train you on cold calling, and I'll train you on how to go about getting business to where people want you to list their property. So we do that every Monday.
Okay.
So every Monday we got cold call Mondays. So we'll show you how to go about getting these for sale by owners to give you their listings.
Okay.
If you want to focus on that. The thing is though, as far as the buying and reselling, once you start selling all these properties, you're gonna have a lot of liquid cash. So then you're gonna want to start getting into buying and reselling homes. You know, the thing is that I always tell people that really want to get into investing, don't use the terminology flip. And the reason why I say that is because if you become known as like, oh, well, this guy flips houses, and if your name is behind that, people are going to be like, well, I don't really want to buy this property, because people start counting your pockets. People hate, right? People hate. So if I was known as like, man, that guy Justin's a flipper, man, he be flipping, man. And then I'm like, yeah, I put my name on a house that I'm renovating. Yeah, it's all done, ready to sell. But nah, he probably bought this for $20. He's trying to make this 80 grand off of me.
Right.
People hate.
Yeah.
So the thing is, so what I always tell my agents is buy and resell. That's it. I know it's longer, but we just say buy and resell just because this is a resale. Oh, we have this house for sale. You know, like, oh, I've sold this house to this house, but it keeps you in that more positive light and not having that cloud up over you. So people are like, well, I wonder how much money he's making off of me. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
But you should totally do the buying and reselling.
Okay.
You know, flipping, because it's gonna make you extra money.
Okay.
But I would train you on how to go about getting listings.
Okay.
Specifically. For example, I have a whole commercial division. Some people just want to specify strictly on commercial. Then I say, okay, if you want to do commercial, let me show you how to do the commercial. This is how you get commercial leads. So we cater to whatever it is that agent's goal is. Period. It doesn't matter if you're new or not. When I was new, I was killing them. You know, you don't have to be seasoned. That's why I'm saying, like, it's really cut and dry. All you need to do is just learn what exactly is that you have to imply or employ to make that person want to use you as their agent.
And now, being that my main focus is to be a listing agent, what are the main skill sets or character traits do you feel like a listing agent needs to have?
Cool. So really, it would be good to have a good mouthpiece. You know, you seem like you have a good mouthpiece on you. So what I would do is I would just show you different scripts to say when you're calling people. So if you know what to say to go about getting the business, then you're good. That's off of just straight cold calling, right? But at the same time, you can also get listings but not even opening up your mouth. And that comes to marketing and tactics on how to go about getting people that are probably distressed, or people that are looking to sell their property, don't even know that they actually maybe want to sell their property. And that's all just tactic. So I'll show you those things, because there's a lot of people that I have and I've dealt with that aren't really that social, but they still can get listings based off of implementing the right strategy to go about doing it without opening up their mouth. Because it's a technology age.
Right.
So you can use your technology to get you listings. So either way, I'll show you both sides.
So what would be the best advice you can give to me or to anyone interested in getting inside of real estate?
It really just depends on what you want to do. So the best advice is just a broad question. I would say is just whatever it is that you want to focus on, I wouldn't spread yourself too thin. Like, I would really focus on, if you want to focus on listings, then focus on how do I go about getting these listings. Because the main problem that I see is people want to kind of be this, that, and doing so many different things to where they don't focus on sitting down and just getting that one task done, right? And you can multitask, don't get me wrong, because when we're getting listings, these people are also gonna need you to help them sell a house, buy a house, because when we sell their house, like for example, I had a lady call me yesterday, she wants to buy a house for 500 grand, but she needs us to sell her house first, so she then can go buy a house for 500 grand. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So all that really goes hand in hand, but if I show you, hey, this is how you cold call, right? And you can then take each day to maybe call up 100 people, it's all sheer like statistics. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like, I use this example. I mean, let's say that you look like Flavor Flav, right? Just to be honest, okay? Like, if Flavor Flav wasn't famous, he probably wouldn't be much of a ladies' man. However, if Flavor Flav talks to, let's say, 100 Beyoncés with the same line, I promise you he will get at least 2 or 3 of their numbers. That's just sheer statistics. Same thing when it comes to real estate and cold calling. If you call up a bunch of $1 million listings, I promise you, you will get at least a few people, a handful of people do business with you. So it's just numbers. Okay. So if you get those handful of people to do business with you and you're getting at least 3% on a $1 million deal, you're straight.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just numbers. So as long as you put in the work and do the numbers, you're good.
Okay. So how can the work get in contact with you?
So to get in contact with me, you can go to the website. It's theregurus.com. And you can get in touch with Vincent for the phone number.
All right, if you want to get in contact with me, you can reach me on Instagram at BlameItOnShad. Make sure you check out the blog at Young Millionaires Mind, and don't forget to check out the website www.youngmillionairesmind.com.
I'm just too lavish. I'm just too lavish. Yeah, I'm just too lavish. I'm just too lavish. I'm just too lavish. I'm just too lavish. Yeah. Then I hit her with the slammer. Shawty say she like my country.